Okay, this is Armand, Paul, take two. Okay, Armand, when you got drafted into the service, do you know what day and year it was?
Well, I was drafted uh, in January 20th of 1943. I was sent to Fort MacArthur for processing. I was there about a week, 2 weeks, and was sent to Camp Cook in California, up
Oh,
by Longpoke, California.
oh yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I was in the infantry,
Hmm.
and I was in basic training at Camp Cook, which later became Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I had basic training, about 13 weeks of basic training. I was then assigned as an automobile mechanic and also was trained as a Browning automatic
Oh yeah.
rifleman,
BAR.
which is more than just a rifle. It was a heavier weapon
Yeah.
and rapid fire.
And the
Machine gun.
enemy would shoot the guys with the BARs first, because you guys were too powerful. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever go overseas?
I was there until, oh, for another, I guess it was in April by then, and I went overseas. I was sent up to San Francisco and departed on a cruise ship called the Matsonian,
Oh,
the Matson liner. It was a good sized ship. We had bunk beds 3 levels high,
uh-huh.
and we slept on those. And it was in the beds were in the swimming pool on the ship. No water in it.
Uh-huh.
They'd have beds were in there,
Wow.
and
Were they open air? Were you under the stars? Or did they have a cover?
the what's that?
Your beds?
Oh, no, they were bunk beds.
Okay.
Yeah, metal, and took us 5 days to Hawaii,
Uh,
Oahu,
uh-huh.
and I was at Schofield Barracks, which was on the western end of Oahu, and I was in the infantry, and I I was in training there. We had tents at Schofield Barracks.
Mm-hmm.
It slept how many? They were large tents with wood sides and then screening,
Yeah.
and had regular roof. And then one day, a truck pulled up to the tent and called out my name and said, "Get your things and throw it on the pickup." It was a pickup truck,
Uh-huh.
and throw it on the back. He says, "You're going to be in the Signal Corps as a photographer."
Oh. Was that because you worked at Technicolor?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
because of that,
Yeah.
that followed me up to that point, because I wanted to enlist in the Signal Corps
Oh.
and lab work, so forth. And so I wound up in a photo lab, just on the outskirts of Honolulu,
Wow.
and I don't remember the number of the lab.
Did you go surfing?
What's that?
Did you go surfing or
Oh,
outriggers?
when I was there, yeah, I was stationed there 2 years,
Oh, wow.
and I wound up in the Army News Bureau
Oh,
as an assignment editor,
cool.
and I had guys that I would assign on missions with the various armies on the different islands that they.
So you were a supervisor.
What's that?
So you had a rank where you were supervising.
Yes, on my rank, I got to be a tech sergeant, and I wound up living in a hotel in downtown Honolulu,
Oh, wow.
and I worked. I did my job at Schofield Barracks. No, what was the name of that? Wasn't Schofield Barracks? It was. It was the. Was it the Ninth Army Command? I'm not sure now.
Okay.
I have to think about it.
Did you ever leave Hawaii to go to another assignment?
No, I stayed in the Army News Bureau for the 2 years I was there.
Uh-huh.
And what was the name of the camp? Wow, it's left my memory.
Where were you when the war ended?
Well, I was there 2 years, and I got a rest and recuperation furlough.
Oh,
Came back to the United States, and I had 45-day furlough. And while I was at, what was the name of that camp? From after my furlough, I was sent to Fort Douglas, Utah, in Salt Lake City. And I was sent there for discharge.
oh,
I was going to be discharged. And while there at the, what do they call that section? I guess it was the discharge center.
Mm-hmm.
And while there, I met a Mormon girl who was working at the discharge center, and decided I would stay there a while and get to know her better and go with her. And
What was her name?
her name was Mary Benson.
Uh-huh.
And we had a nice romance. And one day, on a Sunday, I went to pick her up for a date, and I get to her house where she was living with, who was she living with? Living with her mother. Father had passed away, and there were cars all over the street around her house.
Uh-huh.
And it seemed that she invited her whole family from all over Utah to come and meet me, and I didn't know that.
Oh,
I didn't know
wow.
she had done that. So I met her whole family. They met me, and it got to be pretty serious then. So I decided I would get my discharge and go home. And the job I had before I went into service was working on the machines. They were large machines. Technicolor's process was 3 colors: yellow, cyan, and magenta.
Uh-huh.
And these machines were, gosh, I would say 30 feet long. Each color had a path
Uh-huh.
where there would be a master that would go up against the blank film and transfer the color.
Was it ink? An ink transfer?
Actually, it was a kind of an ink, but it was, I guess it was ink. It wasn't ink as we know it in a pen. It was colored of the 3 colors, and it had dye tanks that it would go through
Uh-huh.
and transfer the color to the film.
Help.